Hi everyone. We're going to graph ellipses whose center is 0, 0. The next video will be where the center is different. So basically, you should have watched the previous video where we talked about some of this. Ellipse has a major axis, a minor axis, and it has a foci that generates the whole ellipse. So let's just get started, and then you can re-look at the formulas. So they give you a formula here, and I want to write down first my A's and B's. My A squared equals 25. My B squared, remember the A is always bigger. So my A is going to be my major axis. My Y is, B squared is 4. That means A equals 5 and B equals 2. And then if you recall, your C squared is your 25 minus 4, which is 21. So C is going to equal plus or minus 21, square root of 21. All right? Now, my A goes with my Y, because that's my 25. And my center is 0, 0. All of these are going to be 0, 0 in this video. So from 0, I'm going to go up 5. And I'm going to go down 5. And on my X, which is my minor axis, I'm going to go, it's my horizontal axis. I'm going to go over 2 back and forth. So I'm going to draw this, attempt to draw it. I call it a standing egg when the major axis is the vertical. And there's your ellipse. Looks something like this. Should make it a little rounder here. Okay, now the length of my major axis, which is the longer one, this is my major axis. I have 5 plus 5. So the length of the major axis equals 2a. So 2 times 5, which is 10. It's easily to see here. That's a 10. And my minor is 2b, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. And you can see it here. This whole length here is 4. That would be 4. Now, I had to find the foci. Well, the foci, we already found it here. It always is on the major axis. So we're going to add, my foci is going to be 0, it's on my Y, plus root 21, square root of 21, and 0 minus square root of 21. And since I don't use the calculator that much, what I do is I know that the square root of 21 is in between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. So it's in between 4 and 5. So it's right, let me see, I'll do it in black. It's right here. There's your foci. Right down here. So you have to draw that. So here's your foci, your center, and we did the length of the major and minor axis. Okay. Now, here we have one that looks kind of funny. So we always want this to equal to 1. And when they give you this, what we're going to do is just divide everything by 144. And since we know this is an ellipse, it comes out nice. 9 times 16 is 144. So when you divide, you're just going to get x squared over 16 plus y squared over 9 equals 1. So my center is 0, 0. My a squared is 16. My b squared is 9. Therefore, my a is 4. My b is 3. My c squared equals 16 minus 9, which is 17. Therefore, my C is equals plus or minus square root of 17, which is in between square root of 16, which is 4. Why do I keep putting equal? Okay, so it's in between 4 and 3. So now we can draw it. I'm going to take my x-axis. My center is 0, 0. And I'm going to go over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Because your A is really plus or minus 4. Your B is really plus or minus 3. All right. And then your B is up 3 and down 3. And you draw it. Since my A and B are very close to each other, it almost looks like a circle. Okay? My foci is on the x-axis because my x-axis is the major axis. This is longer. And we know it's in between 3 and 4. So I'll do it in black again. It's right here. The length of my major axis is 8, which is a horizontal, which is 2 times 4, which is 8, because there's 4 here and 4 here. And my minor is 2b, which is 2 times 3, which is 6. And you can see it here. There's 3 here, 3 here. So that's the total length. And I think that's all. Okay. Oh, we have to write the foci right. So it's on the foci is on the x-axis, so this is going to be root 17, 0, and negative square root of 17, 0. This is your foci. All right. Now this one's already given, so A squared is 16. It's always the bigger number. B squared is 9. So A is plus or minus 4. B is plus or minus 3. C squared is the same thing as before, right? 16 minus 9 is 17. So C equals plus or minus square root of 17. So equals plus or minus 3. We draw it. I'm going to draw the major first. So my center is 0, 0. I go up 4. My plus 4. 2, 3. Down 4 for my minus 4. And then for my x, my minor axis, go over 3 to the left 3 for the negative portion. And I can draw it. You can label these points if you want. Okay. My foci is on the y-axis. And square root of 17 is in between 3 and 4. We already did that, so it's right here. The length of the major is 2a. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 here. The minor is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. And that's it. Oh, let's write down the foci. The foci is on the y. And it's going to be plus square root of 17 and minus square root of 17. I think we have one more. Okay, here's one we're going to have to divide. So divide everything by 64. It always comes out nice on these. All right. So when you get that, 16 goes into 64 4 times. Here we just have to leave the 64. So there's your equation. The center is 0, 0. A squared is 64, the bigger number. Okay, B squared is 4. When these numbers are far apart, this is going to be really skinny. C squared is 60. Therefore, A equals plus or minus 8. B equals plus or minus 2, and C equals plus or minus square root of 60, and square root of 60 is in between 8 and 7. Square root of 49 and square root of 64. Okay, so let's draw this. So 0, 0. My y, we're going to go all the way up to 8, down 8. My x, we're going to go over 2. Yeah, see, it's skinny. The more these numbers are apart, the skinnier it is. I'm going to connect it. It's not so bad. All right, a little bad right there. Okay, my foci is in between 7 and 8, and negative 7 and negative 8. So it's right there. And let's move this down a little. So this would go right here. So you can see the length of this axis here is going to be 2 times 8, which is 64. That's the length. Whoops, not 60. It's 16, which is the length of the major axis. And the length of the minor is 2 times 2, which equals 4. You can count it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the length of the minor axis. And my foci is on my y, which is plus square root of 60 and minus square root of 60. All right, the next video we're going to watch is ellipses that the center is not 0, 0. And it's not that bad, except that it gets a little complicated when you're adding it to your, when you write down your foci here. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.